Good afternoon, friends, colleagues, and my dear students. I, Dr. Devjani Mitro, on behalf of Bijoy Krishna Girls College, Howrah, welcome you all in day 2 of this 1 week workshop on research methodology organized by Research and Development Cell and IQAC BKGC in collaboration with IQAC University of Kolkata. Today we have with us Dr. Gautam Bandyopadhyay, Associate Professor, Department of Management Studies, NIT Durgapur. He has completed graduation in both statistics and operation research. After completion of his Masters of Science in Mathematics, he has completed his doctorate degree from Jadavpur University. He has research interest in many areas like portfolio optimization, application of DEA in tourism and destination marketing, application of DEA for evaluating performance efficiency in banking sector, application of optimization technique, application of statistical software in marketing and human resource management, financial data analysis, and many more. He has written many books, of which few are Business and Information Management, Optimal Portfolio Selection with Skewness and Kurtosis, a fuzzy multi-objective programming. He has written many research papers in different national and international journal of repute. So, without wasting much time, I am requesting Dr. Bandyopadhyay to deliver his lecture. Dr. Bandyopadhyay, please.
Yeah, thank
And
you,
I
ma'am.
also welcome you in
Okay,
our college and in this platform.
thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your introduction. So, good afternoon to all of you, all participants. So, today actually, I will show some application of SPSS using the previous data, and then I'll go to the one case study with the regression analysis, and lastly, I'll finish with the some part of Jamovi. Okay, so this is my today's class. Okay, so first of all, you tell me, is this visible the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, yesterday, I've taken this file that is called the GB1. So there are 15 data size is the 15. 1 minute. 15 data size, and there are the 5 variables actually: roll number, subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. Average we have computed actually using. I will show you today. Okay, so now I will show some application. So first application is how using SPSS I can calculate the we can calculate the average of the each subject marks. Okay, so step by step, first you go to the transform menu, and in transform menu there is some option that is called compute variable. So go to compute variable. So so this menu will come. So what is our objective? Our objective to find average. This is my target variable, average, AVG. Okay. And we know average is nothing but the sum of, here we have to take the average of mathematics, statistics, and operation research. That is the three subjects average. Say that is nothing but subject 1 plus subject 2 plus subject 3 divided by 3. Okay. So in this is these are called the different panels. Okay. So this is the one panel numeric expression. So first you start with the open first bracket and select subject 1, and this is the switch for the movement from left panel to right panel. So you select subject 1 and select this. So naturally it will come directly. Okay. And this is the SPSS calculator, inbuilt calculator. So just from this calculator, you select the plus sign. Okay. And then select subject 2 and move into again right panel. Again, you select the plus sign, select subject 3, this, and naturally after selecting this, you end with the close bracket. And this divided by 3 because our objective is to find the average. That is my target variable, average, and divided by 3. So after doing this, just you click OK. And when you click OK, so we get this, this is my data set. This is my data view. So this is, we get the average. Okay. And just to check, when you get this average, you go to the variable view and average variable is created. Directly average variable is created. So this is the first one simple application. Next, I will show you, suppose when you start your research, collect some raw data. And from the raw data, you want to calculate the group data. That means you need some frequency distribution. So how we calculate the frequency distribution from using SPSS? This is a very, very important part. Okay. So go to the transform menu. So naturally frequency distribution means there is some concept of class interval and class boundary. Okay. And then there is some concept of the width of the class. So how we'll find the CI, CB, and also the frequency distribution. So using SPSS, I'm showing now. So first you go to the data. Okay. So that is go to the transform. And in the transform, under transform, there is a option that is called visual binding. This is visual binding means I want to compute some class interval or class boundary from the raw data. So visual binding. So select the visual binding. So this menu will come. Okay. And when this menu has come, hello, some noise is coming. Okay. So select subject 1 variable. So I am showing I will show you how to form the class interval for this mathematics. Okay. So select subject 1 and move into variables to bin. So this will come. Now continue. Continue. So this menu will come. So just to check, this is mathematics. This is current variable name is the subject 1. Subject 1 is the name of the variable and mathematics is the documentation of this variable. Okay. So now we have to give some name of the bin variable. Bin variable, or we can put say any W, that is the new. And this is basically nothing but the histogram. From histogram, it is clear that the lower boundary, minimum value is the 32. Okay. Now, in case of this, our frequency distribution, there are two things. One is the class boundary, another is the class interval. So we know the class boundary is the continuous case. There is no gap. And class interval is the discontinuous. There is a discrete, there is a gap. So included means class boundary and excluded means the class interval. So initially, for their research, it is better to find the excluded case, that is the class interval case. Okay. So that's why I selected excluded case. And then, and naturally, when you go for frequency distribution, then first of all, we have to know what is the minimum value, and what is the maximum value, because if we know the minimum and maximum value of the data set, easily we can find what is the range of the data set. Okay, and after knowing the range, so there are two things are left, is the how many, how many classes to be formed, that is the number of classes to be formed, and what is the width of the class. Okay, so there are two things are unknown, what is the number of classes and the width of the classes. So how you form these things? So there is an option that is called make cut points. So you select make cut points. So when this select make cut points, so this menu will come. So after getting this menu, so these are three segments are given. One is the first cut point location, one is the number of cut points, one is the width. So what is the meaning of first cut point location? First cut point location, always you give the minimum value. That is, you will give the minimum value, that is 32. Okay. And there are another point, number of cut points, that is how many classes to be formed, and what is the width, that is the what is the range of the each class. So this is a very important issue. So always when you solve your research problem, you supply the width, because number of cut points, that is the number of classes, can never be fraction. But if you supply the number of cut points, so naturally width may be the fraction value. So that's why it is better. It is a better thing if we supply, or if you give the width from your domain knowledge. Suppose for this data set, I am giving the width 10, or the with the 10. Sorry, with the 10, I am giving the data set width 10. So when you select the width the 10, and if we select the number of cut points, automatically it will come. That means there are 6 cut points. Okay. And the last cut point location is the 82. That means the last class will start from 82. So after doing this, after selecting the first cut point location, that is the minimum value, then select width 10. We can select 5 also. Automatically, if we select width 5, number of classes are more, it will increase. Okay. So, and now we go for apply. So then this is your cut point. One first cut point is the 32, then 42, then 52. And naturally with this 10 means first class will be 32 to 41. Okay. So how we get this? Make levels. Make levels. When you start make levels, so there will be a class less than 32. Another class is 32 to 41. Another class is 42 to 51. So these are the classes. Okay. So definitely less than 32, if we consider less than 32 is a class, so total classes to be formed 7. Okay, because less than 32 is one class, and from 32 to the minimum and maximum observation within the data set, the other 6 classes to be formed. Okay. And after doing this, just click OK. Click OK. And then this menu will come. This is a very, very important menu will come. That is the beginning specification will create one variable. That means your process is OK. Now click OK. When you click OK, so just go to the output, go to the input data. This is your data view. So this is your class. Just to think, your mathematics marks is 34. So this is coming under 32 to 41. Your 56, another student marks, that is coming under 52 to 61. In this way, we can form the class interval. Why it is class interval? Because both the upper class value of the one class is not the same as the lower value of the other class. So there is a gap. Okay. So that's why it is called the class interval. So now, and if we select this value toggle switch, so automatically it will show 32 to 41 under which class? It is the second class. Question is why? Because 32 to below 32, there is a single one class. So automatically 32 to 41 will come under second class. And similarly 50 to 61 will come under which class? That is the fourth class. Okay. In this way, the total maximum number of classes are 7. Okay. So now after getting this new, so what do you have checked? You go to the variable view. Variable view. Just to check in the variable view, this variable is already created. And not only that, if you go to the values level, and if you check this already created. That means first class means less than 32, second class means 32 to 41, third class is 42. In this way, 7 classes are formed. Okay. So now, so after getting this new, so we go for frequency distribution, because what is our objective? How to find the frequency distribution of this data set. So go to analyze and go to descriptive statistics. And in descriptive statistics, there is a sub-menu that is called the frequency. You select frequency. And after getting frequency, so I want to show already, this is the form. This is the mathematics binary form. So we select this and move into this right panel and just click OK. Just click OK. And automatically we get this table. Okay. Just you think 32 under 32 to 41. So there are 3 observations. 42 to 51, there are 3 observations. 52 and so on. So this 15 observations, so distributed in these classes. Okay. So this is all about frequency distribution. So now I will show another application, which is very, very interesting part. How you explore your data. So for exploration, go to analyze and go to descriptive statistics. Okay. Again, repeat, go to analyze, go to descriptive statistics and select explore. Explore. And when you select explore, just to think we are exploring, say there are 3 subjects. So I want to explore only mathematics. In this way, you can explore statistics, operation research. You can explore 3 subjects simultaneously. So I will show with the 1 subject. Then you can understand. So I am selecting mathematics and select under dependent list. Okay. And just when you go for explore, just you click OK. Okay. First you click OK. Then when you click OK, some output has come. This is a very, very important part. Some output has come. This is the output. The first thing is case processing summary. That means for mathematics, there are total 15 observations which are valid. No one is missing. Okay. And these are all descriptive measures. So easily we can get the mean values for mathematics. And that is for 15 students. 95% confidence interval. Basically, this is applicable for, the testing of hypothesis. Okay. There's a 95% confidence interval. 5% trim mean. This we calculate for the outlier. Okay. Outlier, trim mean. Median, variance, square of standard deviation. Minimum observation, maximum observation. Range, that is the maximum minus minimum. Interquartile range, that is Q3 minus Q1, that is third quartile minus first quartile. And skewness we get, and for kurtosis we get. So these are the all descriptive measures we get with a single command that is called explore. This is one application. Another thing is, this is a very interesting application that is called stem and leaf plot. So we know the total frequency is 15. Total number of sample size is 15. So and already solved. Just I will show this. Hello. Now, so hello, it is visible actually.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay. So actually, just to check, I'm showing one part. Okay, then you can easily understand actually. Now, say in the first class 32, if you observe 32 to 41, 32 to 41 is a first class. the frequency is 3. Then 42 to 51, then also frequency is 3. So what is the meaning of frequency? That is the 3 observations repeated in the class 32 to 41 and 3 observations repeated in the class 42 to 51. In this way, 2 observations repeated in the class 52 to 61. Okay. But I want to know, but if I, hello, if I tell you the 32 to 41, the frequency is 3, and from this information, it is not clear which observations are repeated how many times. Okay. But with the help of stem leaf, we can understand which are the original observations. Okay. So how? So here, first part is the stem. Here stem is given 3 and the 3 leaves are 2, 3, 4. What is the meaning? Stem with the stem. So just simple using the formula stem into width plus leaf, we get the observation. So how we get the individual observation? Simple formula, stem into width plus leaf. So here with the stem, so naturally stem is 3, so 3 into 10, 30 plus leaves. So what is the first leaf? 2. So naturally first observation is 32. What is the second leaf? 3. So that is the next observation is 33 and 34. So these are the 3 observations we live in this class. Now come to the second class. Second class stem is 4. So naturally stem into width, that is 40, 4 into 10. And what are the leaves? 3, 4, 5. So 3 observations are 43, 44 and 45. Similarly, in the next class, 5 is the stem. So what are the observation? 2 leaves are 5, 6. So observation automatically 55 and 60. And in this class, that is the 60, 3 observations 60, 64 and 66. So in this way, we can get the individual observation. So this is the, because in case of frequency distribution, we get the aggregate results. How many observations are repeated in some classes. Okay. So now come to the next part. So after getting the stem leaf concept, we go to, this is very, very important part, that is called the box plot. Okay. So, when you start any kind of data analysis research, so what you do that, say, this is very important. What you do that, say, naturally, when you start from some data, this is called 5-number summary. 5-number summary. So what is 5-number summary? 5 numbers. So first summary is the first value is the mid. This is called maximum value. This is the maximum value. This point is called Q3, third quartile. This is Q2, that is median. This is Q1, and this is mean value. So these are called 5-point summary. So what is first one is the maximum minimum value, Q1, Q2, Q3, and maximum. What is the importance of in the research? Because if we check this is called box plot actually. This is called box plot, and through box plot, we can understand what is the concentration of the data set, where the data lies, in which region. Suppose if we check the gap between maximum and Q3, so this gap is more larger than Q1 and minimum. So that means we can say maximum observation lies in maximum with Q3, in between maximum and Q3. Okay. Similarly, some observations in Q2 and Q3, some observation is this Q1 and Q2, and some observation in this. So it gives the your data concentration. This is very, very important for the research part. So now, and not only that, and from this box plot, we can get the idea of the outlier. So now I'm coming to that part, how we find the outlier from box plot. So This is basically, the box plot. This is the maximum, this and so on. So how we get the outlier part? So there is a very interesting formula for finding outlier. Say there are two types of outlier. One is the parametric outlier. Parametric outlier. Parametric outlier. Another is a non-parametric outlier. Non-parametric outlier. So what is parametric outlier? When your observations follow the normal distribution. So naturally, first of all, when you collect any data, first of all you have to show your data set follows normal or not. And if it follows the normal distribution, I will show you later on how we check the normality of your data set. And if it follows the normal distribution, so then you go for parametric analysis. And if you go for the data set is not normal, you basically go for the non-parametric analysis. So for the parametric analysis, we apply, the 1 sigma limit, 2 sigma limit, and 3 sigma limit. That is, you can compute x bar plus 1 sigma, that is 1 ST, and x bar plus 2 into ST, standard deviation, and x bar plus minus, obviously plus minus, x bar plus minus 3 into ST. So this is the, called the parametric, finding parametric outlier. And for the non-parametric outlier, you find the quartiles. So how we find? That is, first of all, there is a lower value, lower limit, and another is the upper limit. So how we find lower limit? Now Q1 plus 1.5 into Q3 minus Q1. Okay, so this is called Q1 minus this, sorry, Q1 minus, and upper limit is Q3 plus 1.5 into Q3 minus Q1. So this is coming from, Chebyshev's lemma. I'm not going in detail. This part is coming from Chebyshev's lemma. So that is from non-parametric outlier. Naturally, if any value lies between this lower limit and upper limit, that is not considered as an outlier. And if any value outside this limit, there is some value below LL and some value above LL or UL, so that is considered as the outlier. Okay. So this is very, very important for finding the outlier. Now, come to the next part. Say, okay, now I'm going to this part of how to, very interesting part, how to generate the report for the summary variable as well as the grouping variable. So for this next part, I'll giving simple example. Suppose when you start any kind of research, so there is some summary variable and there is some grouping variable. So what is the meaning of it? Summary variable means there are some variable as a continuous. Okay? And grouping variable means some variables are the attributes of the categorical. Say for our example, say we have taken 3 subjects marks, that is mathematics, statistics, and operation research. So these are considered as a summary variable because they are a scale variable. And another variable attribute is the gender, that is called categorical variable. So question we can, so naturally in the research, there is some objective. So can you generate some report gender wise? Okay, gender, so what is the comparison between the male and female performance? Okay, that we can generate this thing. Another question we can ask, say income wise, is there any difference? Suppose. So next in our research, how many maximum categorical variable we can consider is SPSS. If we solve this problem using SPSS, SPSS can handle maximum 11 categorical variable. So how do you understand 11 categorical variable? I'm giving simple example. For some research, there are so many types of demographic variable. Say age, we can classify. Age is a categorical variable. Say income, we can classify as a categorical variable. Qualification, we can categorize as a categorical variable. In this way, our local area, so urban or rural area, so we can categorize this way. So these are the different types of categorical variable. So these are called the grouping variable. So grouping variable may be the nominal, also may be the ordinal variable. So now I'm showing one application. This is very, very interesting. And that is basically the application of the data mining tool. Oh, okay, so how we apply this concept within data mining tool, I'm showing that. So go to analyze, and our objective is generate a report. Okay, report. And what is the report? What is the objective? Yeah, what is the performance? Compare the performance of different subjects between the male and female. So this is my objective. Okay. Okay. So that's why we want to some report. We get some and go for OLAP cubes. So what is the meaning of OLAP cubes? Now OLAP meanings is online analytical processing. Online analytical processing. So just select this OLAP cubes. And when you select this OLAP cube, now, so this is your menu, okay? And this is just to check. In this menu, there are three panels. One is the left panel and other two are the right panel. In the left panel, if left panel, these are the all subjects are given. And right panel, one is the summary variable and one is the grouping variable, okay? So we consider mathematics as a summary variable, statistics as a summary variable, and operation research as a summary variable. We consider because these are the continuous. And gender is the grouping variable because this is a categorical variable. You can consider this. So you have to consider summary variable and grouping variable. So I'm telling you, we can take maximum 11 grouping variables. Okay. Then click OK. Then click OK. And when you click OK, we get this output. We get this output. Okay. And after getting this output, just to check for that, we have taken three subjects, mathematics, statistics, and operation research. There are total 15 students, no observations are missing. And this is the OLAP cubes. This is very interesting thing. So that here it is given gender. That means gender is the grouping variable. And these are the three subject marks. These are called summary variable. And initially it is given there are total 15 students and sum of all marks for 15 students, sum of all marks for statistics, sum of all marks for operation research. Okay. And this is the mean and this is the overall mean and overall standard deviation is given. But what is our objective? I need the mean for male and mean for female separately. But then we can compare their performance level. Okay. So how do you do that? You select this output. You select this output. This is the selection of output. And click your mouse twice in any place of the output. Click your mouse twice in any place of your output. And go to gender. Just to click gender, you get male and female. And if you select male, that is the male results. Okay. And if you select female, this is called the female result. So definitely, if we select male, that means we can get only for the male results. The how many males are present? That is the 8. What is the mean of mathematics for the male student? It is given 62%. Female result. But question is, I like to check this result in a separate sheet. I need the mean and standard deviation for mathematics, statistics, operation for male and female in a simple one sheet. So how we can get this? So this is very, very important. So go to analyze, go to reports. Then we need the case summary, select case summary. And after selecting case summary, just click reset. Similar case summary, you select again the variable which are called summary variable, mathematics, statistics, and OR, and gender as a grouping variable. And naturally, in our comparison, we need the mean, mainly standard deviation. You can compare and go to statistics. I'm telling you here in the statistics. So these are the all measures are given in the left panel, and in the right panel, what you have to find. What do you want for your study? What do you want for your research? So naturally, you can select mean. You can select, minimum value, maximum value. You can give so many things, and you can give the standard deviation. Okay, You can select skewness and kurtosis, anything. Okay, kurtosis and skewness, you can select it. Now continue. Then click OK. Then very interesting, just you check case summary. So just you check for male, there are 8 students, 8 males. The mean has come for each subject. Standard deviation is come for each subject. Kurtosis come, skewness come. Similarly, for the female has come. So automatically from this sheet, easily you can compare the performance of mathematics between male and female. Naturally, here mean of mathematics is 62.5 and here the mean is 52.0. So naturally here female is natural performance is less than the male performance. But in case of statistics, females are ahead of male. In case of operation research also, female performance are ahead of male from this data set. So this is a very interesting application for the demographic profile. Okay. So actually today main our objective is to go for some multivariate analysis. So if you have any question from this thing, so you can ask me. So then I'll go to directly the multivariate analysis. So I like to stop sharing. Any question you can ask me. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Any question, any participants? Because then I'll go to the my today's class. This is some application I have. This is a simple application on OLAP and frequency distribution and explore command.
So actually, one question is there.
Okay,
Can you
tell me.
explain
Then,
why we use box plot? Shukanya
uh,
Mitro asked one question.
uh,
Can you
okay.
explain why we use box plot?
Yeah, actually, box plot, madam, is basically we are using for the categorical variable. Okay. And when there is some categorical variable and summary variable, so easily some for the male, I can show you when I go for Jamovi, then I can show you the detailed application of the box plot. This is very, very important. And through box plot, we can get the idea of the data concentration. Okay, well, because from a data set where the data lies, maximum data lies. So that's why from any data analysis based on 5-point summary. So what are the 5-point summary? Now from data we can get easily which is the minimum value, which is the maximum value of the data set, and easily using SPSS we can find what is the first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile. Okay, and after getting this, if we select a graphical presentation, if we show it graphically presentation, so easily you can understand what is the concentration of the data set in which region. Because you know in the Q3 and maximum between is a one region, and if your maximum observation lies in that region, so obviously you can say, suppose I am doing some analysis on share market. Okay, and if we check that some for the some share data maximum lies between Q3 and maximum value, so we can say okay, the share is not bad because maximum times the share values lies between Q3 and maximum. But if for the sum share data, maximum value lies in the minimum and Q1. Naturally, you can easily ignore that share. This not share is not the good share because when you predict anything from the past information, okay, is it clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, another question is there.
Okay. Tell
From
me.
Advita Shamanto, there is another question.
Okay.
That how are we supposed to put value on some descriptive options
Mhm.
like preferences in type or style of dress code, for example, formal, casual,
Okay,
etc.
okay, okay, okay. My question is how you find the descriptive statistics for the categorical variable?
Yeah,
This is your question.
yes, sir.
Most probably, it's just very simple. I'm showing this. Very simple. Just you go to, I'm showing present share. 1 minute. Is it visible? Okay. Hello?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir, visible.
Okay. Go to just you go to analyze, and go to descriptive statistics, and go to descriptives, and you select gender and click OK. Just to check, this is not the descriptive statistic. This is not the frequency. Now I'm showing. This. No need to say. Now I'm showing. Go to analyze. Go to frequency. Then you select gender. Then you can easily understand. Now I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
So then I understand. Very good question you have asked. How you find the frequency I am showing you some application. Then you can understand. Yes, sir, for the some variable that is a 5-scale variable. Okay. From attribute, you have say there are 100 respondents, and 100 respondents are given for some answering the question, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So naturally, out of 100, say 50 has given 5, say 30 has given 2. So how we find? So this is the way. So you select that variable. So naturally, how many give 1, how many give 2, it will come. And actually, now from this, you can easily show the bar diagram. You can easily show plotting the data. So that part I will show in the Jamovi part. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good question. Okay.
Sir, another question is there. How can we understand which report to explore depending on different data type from Deepayan Singh?
Again, repeat the question.
Yes, sir.
Again,
How
repeat
can
just.
we understand? How can we understand which report to explore
Okay.
depending on different data type?
Well, I understand. And this is actually, I'm telling one thing. Say, that is basically based on your demographic profile and on your domain objective. Actually, I'm telling you. Say, if I so better we discuss one case, small case, then you can easily understand. Small case. Say, then you can easily understand. Very good question you ask me. Say I have a product. Okay. Say product is carpet. Carpet is a product. Okay. It's a marketing concept. And for this product, there are different types of brand. And brand is, say B1 is one brand, B2 is one brand, and B3 is one brand. You can consider mobile also, car also, anything. Okay. Then for this product, there are different price level. Say P1, P2, P3. And for this carpet, there are different types of colors. Say C1, C2, C3. And say goodwill in the market. Goodwill in the market, yes or no. And warranty of the product. There is a yes or no. So these are the levels. So naturally, why brand is the attribute? Because these are the 3 levels. Price is the attributes P1, P2, P3 because there are when some variable having some levels, that is called attributes. So these are the 3 levels. These are the 3 levels. These are the 3 levels. 2 levels. 2 levels. Okay. And these are all grouping variable. Now we consider one summary variable, say sales of the product, sales price, selling price of the product, or no sales number of units sold, and naturally sold in the rupees also. Okay, so very interesting thing here. Total combination 108. Why 108? because 3 into 3 into 3 into 2 into 2. So there are total 108 combination. That means we can generate 108 reports. And that is a very interesting part that's called conjoint analysis. Naturally, today I have no scope of it. 108 possible reports you can generate. And out of 108 possible reports, which are the best, so that can be solved by the conjoint analysis. It is very, very important part. And using this OLAP, you can generate these 108 reports. You can easily generate 108 possible reports. But you have to find out of 108 possible reports, which are the best report, okay, which are the optimum report for your domain objective. So that can be solved by the conjoint analysis. Okay. Definitely, this is very, very interesting part. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Very good question. So, can I go to the next part because time is short? Okay.
Obviously, sir. Obviously, sir.
Okay. So for next part is I will start the regression analysis. So before regression analysis, basically based on multivariate. So I will show you some multivariate. What is multivariate analysis? Just I'll tell you about 5 minutes. Okay. So this is the few words about multivariate analysis. That is the analysis of data gathered by experimentation or observation. Hello. Some noise is coming.
Yes, sir.
Some noise is coming. Okay, thank you. So, analysis of data gathered by experimentation or observation. That means you can gather data either from primary data or from secondary data and on from experimentation. But for our social science, mainly we gather the data from observation, maybe from primary as well as secondary. My main problem is different iterative process can be applied for adding or deleting the variables from the study. So what is the objective of this? Maybe when we start our research with some variable, maybe that variables are not enough. So you have to add some variable from the outside, okay, from our research domain. And maybe some variables are redundant, so I have to delete from the variables initially which I have taken. So that's why from the different iterative process we will apply. Okay. And to elicit information from these kinds of data sets using different statistical methods. So for doing this, we need the different statistical method like regression, correlation, okay, factor analysis, so many statistical methods. And methodology used for the simultaneous measurements on the data includes many variables called multivariate analysis. So the multivariate means more than many variables involved. Okay. Now, what is the objective of multivariate analysis? So first of all, first objective is the data reduction or structural simplification. So I will explain when we start regression. Data reduction or some structural simplification. Second objective is the sorting and grouping. Is very, very important. The objective in case of factor analysis. It's very important, sorting and grouping. And the investigation of the dependence among variables. So naturally, investigation of the dependence among variables means, so that is a multicollinearity occurs or not. That part is very important for regression as well as the factor analysis. Okay, prediction, because our objective is to how to predict a model. In the already in the last day, my teacher, Professor, Ashish Kumar Chattopadhyay, told you that there are two types of things. One is the exploratory analysis, and one is the conformity analysis. So when you go for any kind of prediction of a model, which is based on assumption. Okay, so that's why prediction of model means that some assumption needs. Okay, so that part I will discuss. And last part is very, very important for multivariate analysis. That's the hypothesis construction and testing. Okay. Today, if I get time, so I will explain hypothesis in detail. Otherwise, I have to skip some part. So then, because our main objective is to show the regression. So any kind of multivariate analysis based on mainly hypothesis construction and testing. So when you go for your research, so definitely for any kind of research, if it is a quantitative based, so there must some hypothesis. Okay? And so the hypothesis construction and testing is very important part. And not only that, on the basis of hypothesis construction and testing, so you can generate your data questionnaire, and you can set your objective. Okay, because hypothesis based on your objective, and then on the basis of hypothesis construction, you can understand which type of data you need for your analysis. That's why it is very important part. Next part is some applications of multivariate analysis. So today I will show only one part. That is the multivariate regression part. Okay, these are the so many applications. I'm not going in detail. So these are the application of multivariate analysis. Some applications, and this is the statement made by the FHC Marriott. That is, if the very important statement, if the results disagree with the informed opinion, do not admit a logical interpretation, and do not show up clearly in a graphical presentation, they are probably wrong. This is very, because it's not a magic. There is no magic about numerical methods and many ways in which they can break down. They are a valuable aid to the interpretation of the data, not the process machines. Okay. Hello. Okay.
Sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Oh, now it is clear.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Okay. Actually, sometimes noises are coming. Okay. So now I am going into the application of multivariate regression analysis. So before that, I know maximum you know the concept of correlation and regression. So today just I will show some simple case study. And so before that, I am showing these cases. First we will discuss theoretically, then we will show using SPSS. So just this is simply when you start your research, so definitely there is some research question. Okay. So this is the question for regression. Suppose that we are statistical consultant hired by a client to provide advice on how to improve sales of a particular product. Okay. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Some noise is coming actually sometimes. Okay. So now, how to improve the sales of a particular product? The advertising data set consists of the sales of the product in 200 different markets. Okay. Question is why I have given this example. Nowadays it is the data science age. So we have to consider the big data. So just I will give some flavor of big data. What is the meaning of big data? But if we collect the data set from the 200 different markets, obviously it is one kind of big data. Okay. So the advertising data set consists of the sales of that amount of product in the 200 different markets, along with the advertising budgets for the product in each of these markets for the 3 different media. So that the advertising depending on TV media, radio, newspaper. That is the sales of any product depending on these 3 types of advertising media. One is the TV, radio, and newspaper. The data, definitely in the next slide, data is not given here. Okay. And it is not possible for our client to directly increase sales of the product. Okay, I am going to this directly. Say there are sales is one dependent variable, and TV expenses, advertisement through TV, and advertisement through radio, and advertisement newspaper. So these are the independent parameters. So why it is a multivariate? Because there are more than one independent variable. If there is one independent and one dependent, this is a bivariate case. So simply go for simple regression. But when the number of predicted variable or independent variable are more than one, so we go for the multivariate analysis. Okay. So in the multivariate analysis, the first step one is individually show the scatter diagram. Just you check. You have collected the data set. for cells and TV. So this is a scattered diagram. This is a scattered diagram for radio, scattered diagram for the newspaper. Hello, some noises are coming.
Participants, please mute your audio.
Can I start?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Actually, just okay. So naturally, suppose you consider your TV is one variable, that is x1, radio is x2, and newspaper is x3. So that x1, x2, x3, these are the three independent variables. So separately, this is the step one. I am telling you, separately, you find the scattered diagram with the dependent and individual independent variable. So this is the scattered diagram. Okay. And next part, this is the some important questions for regression analysis. That is there is a relationship between advertising budget and sales? This is the first question. Okay. Is there any relationship? Our first goal should be to determine whether the data provide the evidence of an association between advertising expenditure and sales. Okay. So advertising expenditure we are showing here, there are three types of advertising media. One is the TV, newspaper and radio. So is there any association with the sales with the advertising expenditure? This is the first question. So naturally for the associationship, we find the correlation. So correlation between the variables is the first step. Okay. That's why this is the question number one. Second is the how strong is the relationship between advertising budget and sales? How strong means that is the R and R square. Okay. In the last class, I told you how much the dependent variable can be explained by the independent variable that can be determined by R square, which is called coefficient of determination. Okay. So assuming that there is a relationship between advertising and sales, we'd like to know the strength of the relation. So maybe this is a very interesting of hello.
Hello.
The noises are coming.
Yes, sir. Participants,
Actually,
please.
1 minute. Actually, there are two links are open. No? Already I told you, someone entered into the first link, and that link is also open for me. And now I
Amit,
understand the problem.
Amit, will you please take this?
Yeah, some participants already entered into that. That's why they don't understand as the workshop is going or not.
Okay.
I understand the problem now. Just please check this. Please check this.
Okay,
So you
okay.
take I'm taking 2 minutes time to start. No problem.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Just check this. Actually, someone are waiting in the other link. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Now it is okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I identified the problem actually. Okay. So better. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So actually, okay. Now I'm starting. So
Yes, sir.
actually, again, everything installed. 1 minute, actually, due to. First of all, you tell me. It is visible.
Yes, sir. It
Okay.
is visible.
Okay. Clear now. So now, better I'll show you the case study. Then time is very short. So this is a very simple case of a regression, multiple regression. This is the default file of SPSS. The name of the file is employee data.sap. Okay. Employee data.sap is the default file of SPSS. So in this file, there are total 10 variables. Okay, ID, gender, date of birth, education, job cat, salary. And just you go for check the level. First of all, this ID, gender, date of birth, these are basically the demographic profile. Okay. Education, that is the educational level. Job cat, employment category. Salary is the current salary. Salary beginning salary. Job time is the months in hire. Previous experience. So these are the other 7 variables. So out of these 7 variables, we have to select from the domain that which is the dependent and which are the independent variable. So from these, we know the current salary is the dependent variable, naturally, which we are getting now. And these current salary, depending on so many parameters like educational level, employment category, beginning salary, months in hire, previous experience, and minority classification. So in this problem, initially, we consider 1 dependent variable and 6 independent variable. So what is the objective of multivariate analysis? The data dimension reduction or data reduction. So first question is, all variables are important. This is the first question. All independent variables are important. So first of all, when you start your research, individually you solve using the the scatter diagram. That part I'm not showing due to time. Okay. So first of all, you show the current salary, scatter diagram of current salary with educational level. Because here the current salary is the dependent variable, educational level is the independent variable. So I'm taking, then you can easily understand what is the meaning of it. Say here, this is the educational level. Say this is X1. Employment category, say this is X2. Current salary, this is Y. That is the dependent variable. Beginning salary, say this is X3. Months in sales is X4. Previous, say X5. And monthly plus X6. So naturally, there are 6 independent variable and 1 dependent variable. So we can consider Y is a function of X1, X2, X3, X4, x5, x6. Okay. So that means 6 in one dependent variable and 6 independent variable. And that's why it is called multiple regression. If one dependent, one independent, that is called simple regression. And if it is more than one dependent, more than one independent, that is under logistic discriminant equation. Okay, equation. So here we are going for one dependent variable and more than one independent variable. Now, question is, here all 6 variables are important or not? So obviously we need some method by which we can reduce some variable. Maybe all 6 variables are not important for predicting the dependent variable. So first step is, when you start SPSS, first step is, step 1 is the, first of all, I have already told you, step 1 is the graphical presentation, that is the scatter plot of dependent variable with the individual, with the independent variable, individual independent variable, y with x1. So one scatter plot with y with x1, one scatter plot with y with x2, and so on. Okay, so that is the first part. Second part is find the correlation matrix. And from correlation matrix can help you, help us to remove the unimportant variable, which is not important for determining the current salary. So now how we will find it? So we go for step 1. So step there is a go to analyze, go to correlation, and naturally this is the bivariate. And for the bivariate, we select the employment level is one variable, employment category, another, current salary is the dependent, and beginning salary is the independent, months in salary is the independent, and previous. So naturally in this way we can select the one dependent and 6 independent variable, and automatically you can click OK. So we get this correlation matrix. This correlation matrix, this is very, very important, correlation matrix. And from correlation matrix, what we observe? Say, from correlation matrix, we observe that, say, this is your current salary. This is your current salary, and which is the dependent. Okay. So current salary having some relation with the educational level. Similarly, current salary employment category, this is a self-correlation. Some relation, some relation. So no need to check. No need to check. What is our objective? To reduce some variables or not. So that is on the basis of p-value. So there is a very interesting thumb rule. P-value, there are 3 rows. First of all, correlation value. Second one is the p-value, and third one is the number of observations. So just you check the p-value concept. What is the thumb rule? If the p-value is greater than 0.05 for any variable or any IV means any independent variable, so that variable is reduced, eliminated, discarded. So naturally, for the first p-value less than 0.05, no need to discard, no need to discard, no need to discard. But the margins here the p-value is 0.067, which is greater than 0.05. So that means this margins here is not important to predict the current salary because there is no high association. So easily we can discard this margins. So from the correlation matrix, we can discard some variables. For this case, we have discarded only a single variable that is called margins higher. Okay, this is the step 1. Now go to the step 2. Step 2 is go to regression analysis. Because in case of regression analysis, we consider this is one assumption, that is we are considering the linear regression. Okay, because there are some non-linear regression also. I am not discussing that part. So we are considering only linear regression. Okay, And this is the linear regression. And already from correlation matrix, already Manson's higher is discarded. So now here the dependent variable is the current salary, and educational level is the independent, employment category is the independent, beginning salary independent, Manson's are already discarded, previous experience, and minority classification. So already we know that the multiple regression also is one process of dimension reduction. So for regression, I'm telling you, this is a very, very important topic for research, regression analysis. Because if for regression analysis help you for the some multivariate factor analysis also. When the regression failed, then we go for some multivariate analysis, factor analysis. Another thing for the machine learning, when they go for machine learning technique, so you have to start with the regression analysis. Okay, so this is a very, very important part. Now we have taken this current salary as a dependent and other 5 variable, excepting the Manson's higher as a independent. Now just click OK. Click OK. So we get this output. We get this output. So first we check. That is a model summary. So model summary, from model summary that is R, that is called multiple correlation, and that is a high positive multiple correlation, that is 0.912. That is means definitely current salary increases if your beginning salary increases, if your previous experience increases. So there is a positive impact. Okay, and R square is 0.832. That is 83.2% current salary can be explained by the 5 predicted variables. Okay, and adjusted R square depending on degrees of freedom. Okay, so definitely if I get time, I will explain this. This is the adjusted R square. That is depending on degrees of freedom. Now, from this model summary, it is clear there is a 83.2% current salary can be explained with the 5 predicted variable. And these are the predicted variable like the minority classification, educational level, previous experience, employment category, and beginning salary. Now for the model justification, what is the meaning of model justification? A regression analysis is valid or not? Okay, regression analysis is meaningful or not? That is the linear regression. So that we get idea from the ANOVA table. Okay, ANOVA is very, very important part. So naturally, from ANOVA table, today I'll tell, due to the time constant, I give the thumb rule. Why ANOVA is important, I'm telling you. Say this is your, this is your ANOVA table. So in ANOVA, say this is simple equation, small y is equal to capital Y plus E. Simple equation. Simple equation. Then easily you can understand ANOVA. So small y equal to capital. Sometimes. Okay. So that is small y is the. Hello, it is clear. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay. One minute. Just a minute. So okay, some problem is going on from my side. Hello. Okay. From now it is okay. It is visible.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Actually, okay. So better. I'm showing, telling something. So just you check from the ANOVA table. This is the regression, residual part and total part. So that is called the regression sum of square. This is called the residual sum of square, and this is called the total sum of square. Okay. Now, just you give me 1 minute time, just 1 minute time. Huh?
Okay,
I'm
sir.
adjusting my pen actually. Pen is not coming actually. Okay, now it is coming. Okay, sorry. So just to check, y equal to capital Y plus E. This y is the observed value. That is my current salary. This capital Y is the model. Naturally, model is capital Y, and model is the function of independent variable. So 5 independent variable. And naturally, for any kind of statistical model, there are some error. And our objective is to minimize this error. So then what I do, we find the three things. One is the total sum of square. One is the regression sum of square. Another is the error sum of square. Question, why it is sum of square? Because we know error means the variance part. So we calculate the variance. So with respect to the observed value, we calculate the total sum of square. With respect to the model, we calculate the regression sum of square. And other part is the error part, residual part. So after this, we just divide into three parts. One is the total sum of square divided into two parts. One is the regression sum of square plus error sum of square. And both sides you divide by total sum of square. Total sum of square. So what do you get? This total sum of square by total sum of square equal to 1. And this is nothing but R square. That is how much the model explained plus ESS by TSS. So that is called unexplained part. So R square is nothing but 1 minus ESS by TSS. Okay. So that is the concept of R square. And that is coming from, this is coming from regression analysis. Okay. This is coming from regression analysis. Now, so next part is, and obviously, for how many, in this case, how many independent variable? The independent variable is the 5. And the total observation is 474. So that's why in case of total degrees of freedom for total SS is 474 minus 1, that is 473. Just to check. The TSS, degrees of freedom for TSS is 473. Okay. And what is the degrees of freedom for the regression sum of square? Since there are 5 independent variables and 1 dependent variable, so degrees of freedom is naturally 5 plus 1 minus 1, that is equal to 5. So that is the 5 degrees of freedom. Okay. And what is the degrees of freedom for the residual or error sum of square? Now 473, that is minus 5, that is 468. This is very, very important part for the find the degrees of freedom. Now, so after knowing the sum of square and degrees of freedom, we can easily find the mean sum of square. Mean sum of square. That is sum of square by degrees of freedom. So here we get the two mean sum of square, one due to the regression mean sum of square and one due to the residual mean sum of square. So there are, and this we know there is one statistics, that is the the sampling distribution, that is called F. It is ratio of 2 chi-square distribution. So we can easily find the F. And from F, using some statistical concept table, we get the p-value. I'm not going in detail how we calculate the p-value. So, but we get some p-value from SPSS. Now, what is the significance of p-value? If the p-value, that is the last column of the ANOVA table, is less than 0.05, that means regression model is valid. Model is okay. You can go for regression model. Okay, if p is less than 0.05. So, and when the regression model is okay, so then we have to find which variables are at all important or not at all important. So that will come in the next part. Now, say, next part is that after ANOVA, so naturally from ANOVA we check that your significance level is less than 0.05. Okay, that means your regression sum of square is more 464 point, regression sum of square 464 point times of the residual sum of square. Obviously the error is less. Okay, so naturally regression is okay. Now going to the coefficient table. This is very, very important part, coefficient table. So now we know in case of coefficient table, they divided into unstandardized coefficient and that is the standardized coefficient. So mainly when you go for the real life analysis, we consider the standardized coefficient. Okay. Question is why? Because here we consider the 5 independent variables having the different units. So one educational level unit in years, employment category no unit, beginning salary maybe rupees in or dollar, previous experience in the month. So definitely with the different units. And naturally, when the independent variables with the different units to make it the standardized. So that's why we go for the standardization coefficients. Now question is, what is the difference between unstandardized coefficient and standardized coefficient? So I like to show with some simple example, then you can easily understand. Say, so what is the meaning of this? So now say, if we consider say y equal to a plus bx, so this is the regression equation. So here a is the constant and b is the slope or coefficient of x. Okay, but if we write this equation like this way, y minus y bar by sy is equal to b x minus x bar by sx. So instead of b, we can write r. Question is, b is the regression coefficient and r is the correlation coefficient. What is the difference between b and r? B is called regression coefficient, that is the coefficient of x, and what is r? The correlation coefficient. Okay, and we know b is equal to r into sy by sx. This is the definition of b. Okay, and simply just I'm telling you, say y equal to y bar plus r into sy by sx, then you can easily understand x minus x. It is the regression equation of y on x. Just you can just derive y minus y bar by sy into r x minus x bar by sx. So then this is called standardized regression equation. Okay, so naturally this standardized equation easily we can derive from the unstandardized equation. So both are same, but according to the theoretical part, concept domain, just when the all units are different, you go for the standardized coefficient. So now after getting this, so if we consider this standardized equation, so first of all, next question is, this is the standardized values. And out of 5 independent variables, all variables are important or not, that we can decide on the basis of either t value or the p value. The last column in any analysis of a space is called the p value. So there is some thumb rule. I'm telling about thumb rule. Okay, definitely any thumb rule based on statistical hypothesis. Any thumb rule. So what is the thumb rule? Thumb rule is that if the t value lies between -2 to +2, this is the thumb rule. If the t-value lies between -2 to +2 or p-value greater than 0.05, that implies if the t-value, again repeat, if the t-value lies between -2 to +2, or these are two mutually exclusive cases, or if p greater than 0.05, that implies that IV, that means independent variable, is not important for predicting the dependent variable. This is very, very important rule. So that means that can help you for the deletion of the independent variable. Okay. So now you can ask me, sir, why we try to discard some variables? Because of that, if some variables initially we can take, but that is not important for predicting the dependent variable. So there is some rule for the discussion. Okay, elimination. So if we check this, if the t-value lies between -2 to +2, so for the first one, here the t is more than, this value is more than +2, so no need of elimination. This is more than +2, this is more than +2, this is below -2, but this value lies between -2 to +2. Not only that, if you check the p-value, or here the p-value also greater than 0.05. So on the basis of this, so we can discard this minority classification from the analysis. So that means minority classification is not important, for predicting the current salary. So now we go to the next step. So initially we start with the 6 variables. And then with the correlation from the correlation matrix, we can check that one variable is reduced, that is called the Munson-Sayer. And from regression coefficient, one variable is reduced, that is the minority classification, on the basis of t or p value. Okay. Now, come to this very important part of regression, that now y is a function of 4 variables. Okay, because other 2 variables already eliminated. Now question is, I'm giving a simple example. What is the problem of multiple regression? If we start with the 2 independent variables, then how many models we can generate? This is the question. So then there are 4 models if there are 2 independent variables. So what are the 4 models? The first model is y is equal to only constant. Second model is y is equal to alpha plus beta 1 into x1. There is no contribution of x2. Third model is y alpha plus beta 2 x2. So there is no contribution of x1. And fourth model is y is equal to alpha plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2. Okay. So these are when there are 2 variables, we have to consider these 4 models. Okay. That means if there are 2 variables, there are total number of models is 2 to the power p. That is p equal to 2. So I'm telling you why this methodology you need. Because if we consider in our research 20 variables, so you'll be astonished how many models. So naturally p equal to 20 means 2 to the power 20. So their 2 to the power 20 value is 10 lakhs 48,576 models. So it's so large. So it's not possible to construct. So we need the dimension reduction by the statistical techniques. Okay. Naturally, for some research, maybe all 20 variables are not important. Maybe. Number one, if they are important, maybe there are some homogeneity among the variables. And that's why we need some other multivariate analysis like factor analysis, cluster analysis. Okay. So when you go for multiple regression, your main objective is how to reduce the unimportant variables using the different techniques. forward selection method, backward selection method, hierarchical regression. I'm not going in detail that part. But this is that's why initially we started with the 6 variables, and using correlation matrix we discarded one variable. Then with the help of T or P value discard another variable. Now we have the 4 variables remaining. So now what is my next step? Next step is, this is a very, very important part. Out of 4 variables, there is some dependence among that variable. Dependence among the variables, that means we have to check, is there any multicollinearity occurs or not? Because if there is an assumption in regression analysis, there will be no multicollinearity. So multicollinearity we have to check. So when you go for any regression analysis, we have to check some assumption. Or number one assumption is the linearity or not. You can solve by the scattered diagram. Another assumption is error follows the normal distribution with mean error and variance sigma square, constant variance. There is another assumption, that is the homogeneity. Another assumption is that there will be no multicollinearity. So now I'm showing how we check there is no multicollinearity or not. Okay, this is a very, very important part in regression. Now, so we go into the next part of how to check the multicollinearity. Say y is equal to a function of x1, x2, x3, x4. So there are 4 independent variables. So how we check the multicollinearity? So that is called, say x1, consider x1 as a dependent and other 3 variables are independent. That means from this we can generate another regression equation. Now we consider x2 is dependent and another 3 are independent. Then we consider x3, then another 3 are independent. And last one is x4, then another 3, x1, x2, x3. So when there are 4 independent variables, so we can easily generate the 4 regression equation. So naturally, it's not a good idea to solve individually the regression equation. So there is a very interesting technique. We only find a technique is called VIF. What is VIF? Now this is called variance inflation factor. Variance inflation factor. What is the meaning? Here there is a formula 1 by 1 minus r square. So what is the meaning of this? Suppose x1 is a function of this. From here we get 1 r1 square. Here we get 1 r2 square. Here we get 1 r3 square. And here we get 1 r4 square. So if r1 square is very high, that means x1 having some relationship with the other variables. Okay. That means x1 is highly explained with the other 3 independent variables. So depending on this r1 square, r2 square, r3 square, we generate one formula that is called variance inflation factor 1 by 1 minus r square. Now we apply some thumb rule. So there is a thumb rule. If r square greater than equal to 0.05, that implies there is a high association exists. Okay. So naturally r square greater than 0.05 means more than 50% explained. Then the multicollinearity occurs. So putting the value of, so on the basis of this, we can generate some rule for VIF. That is, if VIF is greater than equal to 2, then multicollinearity occurs. If VIF is greater than equal to 5, also multicollinearity occurs. So we, in our social science, we consider this minimum condition. That is, if the VIF is greater than equal to 2, that means multicollinearity occurs. Okay. So using SPSS, now I am showing this concept. Okay. Now, go to analyze. How you solve the VIF? Go to analyze and select regression linear. And now we select the minority classification deselect because already discarded. So 1 dependent and 4 are independent. And select statistics. Select statistics and select the collinearity diagnostics. Okay. This gives the VIF value, collinearity diagnostics, and continue. And then click OK. It gives this value. So just to check, with the 4 independent variable, R square value having no change. Initially we study R square is 0.832 with the 6 variables. Now after discarding the 2 variables, R square remaining same, that is the 0.832. And ANOVA is satisfied because p-value is less than 0.05. Now come to this point, the coefficient table. Your all p-values are satisfied for the all independent variables, but that means they are important. But some VIF values are greater than 2. Some VIF values mean for the employment category, it is greater than 2. And for the beginning salary, it is greater than 2. Okay. So naturally, when that means the multiplicativity occurs. So when multiplicativity occurs in case of multiple regression, so there is a rule is that so you apply simple trial and error method initially, trial and error method. So but if I apply the hierarchical regression method, so that can directly discard the multiplicativity variable. But in case, but today we are doing only the simple regression, multiple regression concept, so we apply the trial and error method. So what is trial and error method? Say for employment category is the multiplicativity occurs, beginning salary also multitude occurs. So what is the trial and error method? It's step by step. So first we discard beginning salary from the analysis. That means we run our analysis with the 3 variables. Okay. Then we check the R square everything. And again, in the next step, we discard the employment category and insert beginning salary as an independent variable. Again, we check the process. So now compare with the 2 models. And after comparing, we take the decision which model is the free of multicollinearity. Okay, not only that, where the R square is very high. So now I'm going for analyze and select regression linear. So first we select the employment category, beginning salary, discard. Now click OK. So what do we get? We get R square, just to check, R square is 0.703. That is nearly 13% reduced. Okay, after discarding beginning salary. Okay. And okay, ANOVA is okay. And the multicollinearity reduced because all VIF are less than 2. Not only that, some p-value disturbed. Naturally, this t-value also disturbed because it is above -2, and here the p-value more than 0.05. So this, according to this, is a disturbed. Okay, that means on the basis of p-value, also previous experience you have to discard. Okay. If you retain employment category, initially employment category occurred as with the high multicollinearity. Now in the next stage, what will do that? Next stage, what will do that? Go to the linear. You go for employment category, deselect, and beginning salary, select. Okay. Then click OK. Then what do we get? We get 80.802. That is 10% increase. Okay. And ANOVA is satisfied. Not only that, all p-values are satisfied and all VIF are satisfied. Okay. So then we can consider this is a model. Now we come to the last part for the regression. Actually, go to this part. This is very interesting. That's why I'm showing. Say, from this part, this is a standardized coefficient. Okay, so educational level standardized coefficient. So these are called, say, some standardization coefficient. What I will do there, from your analysis, we have to decide which independent variable is the most important. Which independent variable? So educational level, or the previous experience, or the beginning salary. So definitely you take the absolute value. So after taking the absolute value of educational level, we get 0.124. This is positive, and naturally absolute value also positive. Similarly, from the previous experience, it is the minus 0.1 102, 102, and obviously after taking absolute value, it is positive. And beginning salary, your value is 0.806, 0.806, so you take 0.806, okay. So these are the three values. So according from, since it is a very simple problem, only with the three variables, so easily we can understand its weight is very high. So ranking wise, beginning salary is more important to predict the current salary. So this is the rank 1, this is the rank 2, and this is the rank 3. So that means with the regression analysis also helpful for the ranking of the parameters according to their importance. Okay. So there is some general rule I'm not discussing due to the time. Okay. So in this way we can find the concept of this. And other part actually today time is very less, because when you study any regression analysis, you have to check the normality also. I will show you how you check the normality. That part I will show you. Another part you have to check if your model follows the time series or not. Okay, because you are solving the cross-sectional regression, so you have to check if there is a time series occurs. So naturally, you can't solve your problem with the help of cross-sectional regression. So up to this, if you have any question, then you can tell me. Then I go to the next part if you are interested. Hello.
Sir, actually, only one question is there. Nindranil Chatterjee want to ask what is degree of freedom?
Okay, very good question, Indranil. Thank you. I am giving the concept. I'm trying to give the concept. Say degrees of freedom. Actually, degrees of freedom definition is number of independent parameters. But with this definition, it is not so clear. So I'm giving simple example. Say x plus y plus z equal to 6. It is an equation. So there are three unknowns, x, y, z, and one equation. So with the help of one single equation, we can never solve the linear independent values of x, y, z. We can never solve. So what do we do that? We can put x equal to 1, say y equal to 2, if we put, then we get the value of z equal to 3. That is the value of z depending on x and y. If we supply x and y, then we can determine z. Then we can write this equation z is equal to 6 minus x minus y. That is, z is a function of xy. And z depending, so these xy are the independent variable. So z depending on how many independent variable? 2 independent variable. So that means this is the degrees of freedom is 3 minus 1, the 2. Okay. Now I am coming to the regression part, degrees of freedom. Very good question. So we know r square, that is equal to 1 minus error sum of square by total sum of square. This is r square. So that is r square is the independent of degrees of freedom. So if we calculate this degrees of freedom for error sum of square degrees of freedom is n minus p minus 1 divided by total sum of square by n minus 1. This is n is the number of observations. P is the independent variable. P is the independent variable, number of independent variable, and n is the, so naturally this is called adjusted R square. So in any kind of research, you try to find adjusted R square instead of R square. Question is why? Because from adjusted R square, it is very much clear what is your number of observations and what is your independent variable. Because R square is independent of degrees of freedom. So in some cases, if your number of observations are very less, so automatically your adjusted R square will be very less compared to R square. So it is advised, well, not advised, it is very interesting, good thing if we solve the adjusted R square instead of R square. Okay. Is it clear, Indranil, sir? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
It is clear.
If you compare the t-test statistics, just degrees of freedom is very important. If we consider F statistics, degrees of freedom is everywhere. If you compare chi-square, multivariate analysis, conformity factor analysis, degrees of freedom is very important. Okay. That's why you try to understand the degrees of freedom for any kind of test statistics. Okay. Very good question. Any question? Then, hello.
No, sir, there is no question.
Okay.
If anybody having any question, you can unmute yourself and ask
Then
question
unmute
to the
yourself.
sir.
Unmute. Otherwise, I can. Otherwise, because some minutes are lost due to some disturbance. So then, otherwise, for the 15 minutes, I will show you the Jamubi part.
Yeah,
So you will be
yeah.
benefited. You will be benefited.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So can I start the Jamubi part?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So initially, I'll give the introduction of Jamovi. This is a very, very interesting package. So first of all, it is a free open source data analysis software that bridges the gap between the freedom and power of R and accessibility of spaces. Okay. It enables us in fulfilling the following objective. So here we can apply all kinds of algebraic operations, statistical analysis can be done in Jamovi. So mainly I'm telling you Jamovi mainly basically used for the social science researcher. And you can easily, so many qualitative research you can solve using Jamovi. Okay. And visualization of data using different graphical techniques is possible. Graphical part is very, very interesting in Jamovi. Okay, because your backend is R. Okay. And just it is recently introduced in 2018 by Jonathan Love, Dominion Dropman, and Robbie Silker. The latest version is 1.2.9. Okay, 1. So this is the installation part of Jamovi, how you download the Jamovi. It is open source. Okay, you can easily download Jamovi from the following website. Okay, you can write it. Otherwise, I can send you my PPT to you. Okay, no need to write. So this is the working with Jamovi package. So there are when I start Jamovi, we get some menu view. These are the menus. Okay, these are the data view and these are the output view. So what is the advantage in case of SPSS? Your data view in one sheet and you are getting the output in the other sheet. But in the Jamovi, you are getting the data and output with the same page. This is the advantage in case of Jamovi. Okay. And this is the scales of measurement because for the Jamovi, you have to know this is very important. That is what is the nominal, what is the ordinal, what is the interval and ratio scale. So yesterday I discussed this thing. Okay. And this is the handling data types in Jamovi. And in Jamovi, there are 5 variable types. Just try to remember SPSS. In SPSS, there are 3 types of scales like nominal, ordinal, and scale continuous. But in case of Jamovi, we get some extra 2 scale. One is the nominal text, and another is the ID. So what is the nominal text? It is defined as the categorical variable that contain only the text value. Okay. What is the only nominal? It is defined as a categorical variable that contains both text and some numerical value. Okay. Ordinal is defined as a categorical variable containing meaningful way to order the different possibilities. And continuous means it allows for the assessment of both the distance and magnitude of the treatment. Already I told you. And ID is defined as a uniquely identifier for using roll number, ID. So these are the ID. But in case of SPSS, only use the 3 types of scales. Okay. This is the advantage in Jamovi. So this is the installation module in Jamovi. There are so many modules, easily we can install some modules for our requirement. Okay. So that part I will show you. So then importing data. This is very, very important part. Now, in case of Jamovi, we can import some SPSS file. We can import some Stata file. We can import some, SAS file. We can import some R file directly. Also, that is a maximum advantage is that you can import any CSV file also. Not Excel, CSV file, comma separated variable. So that we can import directly in Jamovi file. Okay. So this is really advantage in Jamovi importing data. Next part, how we import the also SPSS file that is given. I will show you that part. Okay. So this is the how to import the CSV file. That is the given import CSV files. Okay. And this is the all about this. Now I will start with the Jamovi software. So this is open Jamovi software. Okay, this is the Jamovi software is coming. Okay, now I like to show how we import the data from SPSS. This is the first step I'm showing. So I like to import the data file GB1, the yesterday file from SPSS. So go to open and import. Okay, again repeat, go here. There's the 3 lines, select it and open. Okay. So open, here it is given. After opening, you check that is a browse is given. So browse means from where the SPSS file is there and from where we can import directly in Jamovi. So browse. And after selecting browse, just I like to select this GB1 file. Naturally, GB1, what is my destination? There is a GB1 under desktop, under advanced research methodology, that under this is a path, and this is the GB1 file. So we select GB1 and open this file. So this file has come. So this is the GB1 file. So this is the roll number, subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, gender. So just you think, just say, hey, say this is the roll number, and if we select this, this is the roll number, and this is the roll number of the student, and naturally this is the nominal. So you can consider roll number as an ID also, because this is the facility we can get in Jamovi, because roll number only for the description, so we can consider as the identification. Okay, so that's why roll number. Now you go to the subject. Subject obviously scale variable, continuous. Okay, that's why no need to change. And next we go to the subject to also scale variable subject. Now come to the gender. Gender is a nominal variable. So no need to change because this is a nominal ordinal. Naturally, gender can never be treated as a ordinal, can never be treated as a continuous, never be treated as ID because of that, because a nominal having some levels. One is the male, another is the female. Okay, so that's why gender always we treat as a nominal. So now after selecting this, suppose we go for some analysis. So first thing is exploration. Already exploration. Exploration means we need some graphical interpretation. Okay, that's why this is exploration. Exploration is selected. In the exploration, there's a divide in the descriptive statistic, the scatter plot and different things will come. So we go to the descriptive statistics. When we go to the descriptive statistics, try to understand this. This is very, very interesting part. So we select subject 1 is a variable, not the grouping variable, it is a summary variable. Subject continuous, subject 1. Just to check, when you select subject 1, automatically the mean, median, max, minimum, maximum value appear in the output. Okay. And if we select subject 2, automatically it will come. Okay, if we select subject 3, automatically it will come. Now we consider gender as a splitting variable because it is a grouping variable. So that is splitwise. Just you think this is the male, how many male? 8. How many female? 7. So naturally no missing. Right? And this is the mean for male, female. Just you try to observe the Olaf cubes. Olaf's cubes. Okay. And now after getting these, we go for statistics. Okay. Suppose we need the frequency tables. Frequency tables, we go for statistics. Statistics, we need mean, median, we can easily solve quartiles, easily we can solve dispersion, and I'm not selecting, okay? So not only that, we can check the normality test also. Normal, that is called the Sapir-Whorf test. We can find the skewness and kurtosis. So if we select the normality, that is called normality, just to check normality is coming. This is called Sapir-Whorf test, normality. And naturally, all distribution follow the male marks are normal, female also normal, Sapir-Whorf test. Okay. That is why normal, because these are the p-values. If the p-values are more than 0.05, that means the distribution is normal distribution. Okay. So now after this, we go for plots. So there are different types of plots. One is the histogram. If we select histogram, so this will come histogram plot. Just wait. Histogram is coming for subject 1. Okay, this is the histogram for gender subject 1. So there is a subject 1 gender-wise male and female. Okay. Subject 2 gender-wise male and female. Subject 3 gender-wise male and female. Okay. Now I am coming to the bar plot, or this is the box plot. Already I told you, box plot. So this is the box plot. So naturally, here the male and female are the category, so grouping variable. And these, for the male, this is the box plot. That is the maximum Q3, already I told you. And easily from this data, easily you can compare the concentration of the data in which region is more or less. Okay. And see, this is for subject 3 and this is for subject 3, subject 2 and subject 3. Okay. And there is another extra plot that is the violin plot. It is very interesting. Just to check. This is a violin plot. So if we deselect box plot, only violin will come. Okay, so this is the width of this violin. This is the narrow width. So definitely the data concentration is more. And how we compare this? If we select box plot also, so within violin, box plot will come. Okay. So now you understand according to the concentration of the data set. Okay. Here the concentration of the data set is more. Okay. Now you select the bar plot also. Okay. Bar plots also. Now I'm coming to this part, regression part. So this is the regression. Okay, another thing. Say I like to solve this employee data. So import from browse. That is the employee data from SPSS. Even okay, employee data. First of all, this is a new. And now after getting new, we can go for import, browse, then employee data. Not coming. Why not? Unable to open file due to some problem, most probably. Maybe some, okay, improved file is open actually. Sorry. In SPSS it is open. Yeah, that's why it's not coming. 1 minute. Okay. Now we can easily import the file. Okay. So now easily you can write this, cancel this again. Okay. Now, so these are the 10 files. Okay, so this is now we go for regression analysis. So linear regression. So these are the variables. Okay. So we consider, salary as a dependent, and I'm showing with the say 3 variables. So begin salary, we know the previous experience is important, and these 3 variables, covariance. Okay. Now, this is a very interesting assumption check. In the assumption check, these are the different assumptions. Everything. If you select, the answer will come. Okay. So I think you understand something. Naturally, anything I am telling you, anything depending on practice. Okay. So first you download this software and you practice it. And if you have face any problem, just you can mail me. No problem. You can call me. So definitely, if I have, I'll help you. Okay. And anything simply, I'm telling you, any kind of software like SPSS, R, that is depending on practice. Main thing is your domain knowledge. Okay. So if you have any questions, so now you can tell me. So, hello, yeah.
Yes, sir. In chat box, there is no question. Sir, actually, I have one question.
I'll tell you.
Actually,
Hello.
can we import the data from Excel also?
No. In Jamovi, you could not import the file from Excel directly. So you have to convert into CSV file.
Okay.
In also R Studio, when you study R also, okay, R you get but in Python you can directly import. So there is another package, that is the StatCraft, okay. But the problem, StatCraft also backend R, backend Python already, in the market. So, but StatCraft is not the open source. But in case of Jamovi, you can import not Excel directly.
Okay, sir. Sir, there is another question from Mr. Mujibur Rahman that he wants to ask one question. Sir, can we run panel data regression in Jamovi?
No. Time series data can never run in the Jamovi. Basically, Jamovi is applicable only for the social science. Okay. For the panel data, you can apply the eViews package, data package, and the R package, and definitely Python. Definitely Python. So using Python, R, Stata, eViews, or not only that, SPSS, most probably the new version of SPSS, you can handle panel data. New version of SPSS, most probably version 26. Okay. For panel data, Jamovi, still now Jamovi have no option. I don't know in future it will come or not.
Okay. If anybody having any question, you can unmute yourself and ask your question directly to the sir.
Excuse me, sir. There is one question.
Yeah.
Can we use those analysis data to our Microsoft or for any our printing purpose?
Which purpose? Can you repeat again? Can you repeat?
for printing purpose or for our Microsoft or presentation.
Okay. But directly we can take the printout. Yeah.
Yes, we can able to take
I
out.
can use SPSS for the printout. I can use Jamobi directly. You can take the printout directly. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But I am telling you, don't go for the direct printout. You
Yes,
go for the you apply the export command in SPSS. Export
yes, sir.
command, and if you go export command, then you customized. Okay.
Yes.
So if
First, we have to export. Yes, sir.
export.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Very good question.
Is there any more
Anyone just you
question?
ask me. Actually, online it is a problem. It is not want to. I know eye contact. There is a real problem. I feel it for you. So better if you have
Actually,
any
sir,
question,
you
you tell me.
explained so nicely, that regression part, SPSS, Jamovi, etc., everything, and
Okay.
also the interpretation that is very, very informative. So,
Actually, time is very short now. Time is
yes,
very short.
obviously, I
So,
will call you, sir.
thank you. Thank you. If the
Any more
participants from
questions?
your maybe you are already start here in the research process. Someone may be completed. So if you have any query, so if I know, definitely we can discuss. Because research, no end at all. Okay,
Obviously, sir.
no end at all.
Okay, is there any question? I think so, sir. There is no question,
Okay,
no
thank you.
more question. Thank you very much, sir, for your excellent presentation. Very informative for both SPSS and Zamovi, and also the interpretation part, which is much more important for social science research.
Yeah.
That I feel we can do lot many econometrics, lot many things. If
Right.
the interpretation is not proper,
Interpretation is
then
yeah.
that will
Interpretation
not
is most
proper.
important.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank
Uh,
you.
okay, sir. And one announcement for the participant. Please download free version of the software R reviews or Stata trial version for your next sessions. And
Okay.
participants also writing, thank you, sir. They are
Okay. Thank you.
also,
Thank you.
okay.
Okay. So
Okay,
can I
thank you,
leave
sir.
now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you
you
to
very
all
much.
participants for your patient hearing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. So, Amit, Charojit, hello.
হ্যাঁ শেষ করতে পারো
তাহলে আমরা শেষ করি?
হুম
Okay, today we will meet at 3 p.m. Sharp at 3 p.m. Tomorrow we will meet at 3 p.m.
তাহলে আর রিভিউজটা একটু বলে দাও
Yeah, our reviews Stata free trial versionটা please download করবেন for ready reference hands on technique তো শেখানো হবে, সেই জন্য প্রত্যেক পার্টিসিপেন্টকে রিকোয়েস্ট করা হচ্ছে।
আরেকবার একটুখানি বলো দেবযানী।
আর সফটওয়্যার স্টেটা আর ইভিউজ এগুলোর সফট ট্রায়াল প্যাক পাওয়া যায়, সেগুলো এই নেক্সট যে সেশন গুলো রয়েছে সেখানে তো হ্যান্ডস অন টেকনিক শেখানো হবে, সেটা একটু ডেস্কটপ বা ল্যাপটপে ডাউনলোড করে রাখলে বেটার হবে, সেটা একটু করে রেখো প্লিজ।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে।
ঠিক আছে,
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ।
ওকে।
রেকর্ডিংটা তো বন্ধ করতে হতো।
অমিত,
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, তোমরা তোমরা লিভ করে যাও, করে দিচ্ছি।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে,
লিভ করে দাও।
ওকে।
হ্যাঁ রেকর্ডিং